Have you ever pulled a tarot card, looked up its meaning, and somehow ended up even more confused than when you started? Maybe you pulled the Hermit, so you searched online. One website tells you it means wisdom, another says solitude. Someone else says it's about isolation. Then another interpretation talks about spiritual awakening, self discovery, or taking time away from the world. And suddenly you're left wondering, so, which one is actually right? If you've ever felt that way, you're definitely not alone. In fact, I'd say this is one of the biggest obstacles almost every tarot reader faces. We spend so much time trying to memorize card meanings because we think that's what experienced readers have done. We imagine they can instantly recall every possible interpretation of every card. But I've realized that's not really what separates a beginner from an experienced reader. The real difference isn't how many meanings you've memorized. It's knowing how to choose the meaning that fits the reading in front of you. Once you understand that, tarot becomes much less about remembering keywords and much more about understanding the conversation the cards are having. And that's exactly what I want to show you today. If you're new here and you're learning tarot in a practical, down to earth way, I'd love to have you join us. I share new lessons every week to help you build confidence with tarot. So if that sounds helpful, consider subscribing. Now, before we talk about choosing the right meaning, I think we need to clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about tarot. Many people believe every tarot card has one correct definition, almost like learning vocabulary in another language. The Fool means new beginnings. The Tower means upheaval. The Sun means happiness. The Hermit means solitude. Simple. Except that's not how tarot actually works. Let's take the Death card as an example. If you open 3 different guidebooks, you'll probably find 3 slightly different explanations. One says endings, another says transformation. Someone else talks about rebirth, another focuses on letting go. Some mention transition, while others describe deep personal change. So who's correct? The answer is, they all are. None of those meanings are wrong, they're simply describing different parts of the same card. Think about it this way. Imagine someone asks you what the word light means. Well, that depends. A room can be light, a suitcase can be light, you can light a candle. It's exactly the same word, but the meaning changes depending on the context. Tarot works in much the same way. The card itself doesn't change, the situation does. And that's why I think beginners often ask the wrong question. Instead of asking, what does this card mean? Try asking, what does this card mean here? That one little word, here, changes everything. Because tarot isn't about finding the one correct meaning. It's about discovering the meaning that makes the most sense in this particular reading. So where do we start? Surprisingly, not with the card. The very first thing I look at is the question, because the question tells the card what job it needs to do. Let's imagine 3 different people all pull exactly the same card, the Hermit. The first person asks, should I change careers? Now, the Hermit might suggest taking your time before making a decision. It could be encouraging careful reflection or gaining more knowledge before making a big move. Now imagine someone else asks, how is my relationship going? The Hermit suddenly feels very different. Perhaps one partner needs more personal space. Maybe communication has become distant. Or maybe the relationship is encouraging both people to grow individually before they can grow together. Now let's change the question one more time. What do I need most right now? Now the Hermit may simply be inviting you to slow down, to spend time with yourself, to stop looking for every answer outside of yourself and trust your own inner wisdom. Notice something interesting. The card hasn't changed once. Only the question changed. That's why I often say the question gives the card a purpose. Without a question, a tarot card can point in lots of different directions. With a clear question, those possibilities start becoming much narrower. It's a bit like asking someone for directions. If I simply ask, where should I go? That's impossible to answer. But if I ask, how do I get to the train station? Now the answer becomes much clearer. The same thing happens in tarot. A clear question creates a clear reading. So the next time you feel overwhelmed by all the possible meanings of a card, don't start with the guidebook. Start by asking yourself, what was the question? You might be surprised how many possible meanings disappear once you've answered that. I'd actually love to know if you've experienced this yourself. Is there one tarot card that always leaves you wondering which meaning to choose? Let me know in the comments because I'm curious to see which cards people struggle with the most. Now, the question is incredibly important, but it's only the first piece of the puzzle. The next thing I pay attention to is where the card appears in the spread, because position changes purpose. Let's use the Three of Swords, probably one of the easiest cards to recognize. Imagine it appears in the past position. It might be describing an old heartbreak or disappointment that's still influencing your life today. Now imagine you pull exactly the same card, but this time it lands in the advice position. Suddenly, the message changes. Perhaps it's encouraging you to finally acknowledge pain you've been avoiding. Maybe it's reminding you that healing starts when we're willing to feel rather than suppress our emotions. Now imagine it appears as an obstacle. Instead of describing something that's happened, it could be showing that emotional pain is preventing you from moving forward. Three completely different interpretations. Exactly the same card. The position changes the role the card is playing. I like to think of it like an actor. A great actor can play a detective in one film, a teacher in another, and a villain in the next. The actor hasn't changed, only the role they're playing. Tarot cards work in much the same way. Once you start thinking like this, you'll spend far less time worrying about memorizing endless meanings because you'll realize the spread itself is already giving you clues about which interpretation fits best. And then we come to what I think is one of the most overlooked parts of reading tarot, the cards around it. Because no tarot card speaks alone. Every card is influenced by the cards around it. Think about it like having a conversation. If you only hear one sentence, it's easy to misunderstand what someone is trying to say. But once you hear the sentences before and after, the message becomes much clearer. Tarot works exactly the same way. Let's look at an example. Imagine you pull the tower, followed by the star. If you stopped at the tower, you might immediately think about chaos, upheaval, or something falling apart. But then comes the star, hope, healing, renewal. Suddenly, the tower doesn't feel quite so frightening. Instead, it becomes the thing that clears away what no longer belongs so that healing can begin. Now let's change just one card. This time, imagine the tower is followed by the Five of Pentacles. Now the emotional tone shifts. Instead of moving straight into hope and recovery, the cards suggest that the period after the disruption may feel difficult or uncertain before things improve. The tower hasn't changed. What changed was the company it was keeping. Here's another example. Imagine you pull the moon beside the Seven of Cups. Separately, both cards can suggest uncertainty. Together, they become much louder. The reading may be warning you not to make decisions based on fantasy, assumptions, or wishful thinking. Things may not be exactly as they appear. Or perhaps you pull the Sun after the Five of Pentacles. On its own, the Five of Pentacles can represent hardship, feeling left out or struggling. But the Sun reminds us that this situation won't last forever. It brings optimism, clarity, and the possibility of support that perhaps wasn't visible before. This is why I rarely read one card in complete isolation. Instead, I keep asking myself one question. What story are these cards telling together? Because tarot doesn't speak in individual words, it speaks in sentences, and eventually, it tells a story. If this idea is already changing the way you look at tarot, I'd really appreciate it if you gave this video a like. It lets me know you're enjoying this type of lesson, and it also helps more people discover the channel. Now, there's another reason experienced readers often seem to choose the right meaning so naturally. They're not only looking at the keywords, they're looking at the picture. This is one of the reasons I fell in love with tarot in the first place. Every card is full of clues. Let's take the Six of Swords. Most guidebooks summarize it with something like, moving on. And while that's true, it's only part of the story. Look at the image, a small boat quietly crossing the water. The figures aren't celebrating, they're leaving something behind. Notice the swords. They're still inside the boat. They haven't been thrown into the water. They're being carried. To me, that's a beautiful reminder that healing doesn't mean pretending the past never happened. It means moving forward while carrying your experiences and the wisdom you've gained from them. Suddenly, the meaning becomes much richer than simply moving on. The same is true throughout the tarot. The mountains, the rivers, the animals, the colors, the direction people are facing, even the smallest details often add another layer to the reading. That's why I always encourage people not to memorize the cards as lists of keywords. Study the artwork. Become curious. Ask yourself why the artist chose to include that symbol. Over time, you'll discover that the cards begin speaking to you in a much more natural way. And that brings us to intuition. This is probably one of the most misunderstood parts of reading tarot. You'll often hear people say, just trust your intuition. I understand the intention behind that advice, but I don't think it's quite enough. If you're just starting out, being told to trust your intuition can actually feel frustrating. You might be thinking, I would if I knew what my intuition sounded like. So here's how I look at it. I don't see intuition and symbolism as two separate things competing with each other. I see them as partners. Imagine you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle. The symbols on the cards are all the individual pieces. Your intuition is what helps you recognize how those pieces fit together. Without the pieces, there is no puzzle. Without intuition, they're just disconnected shapes. Good readings happen when both work together. Sometimes you'll notice your eyes being drawn to one particular symbol. Sometimes one sentence will suddenly stand out in your mind. Sometimes you'll simply get a strong feeling that one interpretation fits better than another. That's intuition. But it's still supported by everything you've already observed, not replacing it, working alongside it. So now let's put everything we've talked about into practice with a real example. Imagine someone asks, what do I need to know about my career over the next few months? We shuffle the cards and draw three. The Eight of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Queen of Wands. The first thing we do is remind ourselves of the question. This is about career. Immediately, that helps narrow our focus. Now we look at the first card, the Eight of Pentacles. Many guidebooks will simply say hard work, but let's think a little deeper. In a career reading, this card is about developing skills, improving your craft, learning, practicing, becoming really good at what you do. Next comes the Wheel of Fortune. Something is shifting. Perhaps an opportunity is approaching. Maybe circumstances outside your control are beginning to move. This card often reminds us that life moves in cycles. The hard work you've been putting in may soon begin creating new opportunities. Then we reach the Queen of Wands. She's confident, creative, passionate. She isn't afraid to be seen. She knows her value. Now, instead of reading three separate cards, let's read the story. You've been investing time and effort into building your skills. Even if progress has felt slow, circumstances are beginning to change. When an opportunity presents itself, you'll need to believe in your own abilities and step forward with confidence rather than questioning whether you're ready. Notice what we didn't do. We didn't pull out three guidebooks. We didn't memorize dozens of keywords. We simply allowed the question, the individual cards, and the story they created together to guide us. And that's really the secret. Experienced tarot readers aren't usually asking, what does this card mean? They're asking, what is this card trying to say in this reading? It's a small change, but it completely transforms the way you read tarot. If you'd like me to make more videos where we work through real tarot readings step by step like this, let me know in the comments. Those are some of my favorite videos to make, and I'd love to know if you'd find them helpful. So the next time you pull a card and find yourself wondering which meaning is correct, remember this. You're probably asking the wrong question. Instead of asking, which interpretation is right? Ask, which interpretation makes the most sense here? Look at the question. Look at the position. Look at the surrounding cards. Study the symbolism, and then allow your intuition to connect everything together. The more you practice that process, the less you'll rely on memorizing meanings, and the more you'll start reading tarot as a language rather than a collection of definitions. And in my experience, that's the moment tarot really starts to come alive. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope this video has made tarot feel a little less overwhelming and a lot more approachable. Until next time, take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next video.